Hi everybody and welcome to another Rotors. This time, it's a bit of a quiet start this time. Only me and Kev. But got lots to talk about, lots of news and lots of things to mutter and whinge and moan and giggle about as well actually. There's some quite interesting things in the news. And yeah, so basically and I've been doing a lot. I've actually been managed to do some flying as well, which is quite unusual. Anyway.
Have you remembered how to do that?
Hi Kev, how you doing?
Hello. I'm alright. Have you remembered how to fly? Do you know what stick does what?
I'm pretty sure I can still. I went for 5 years without flying, so and I still knew after then. So I think I can manage a few weeks.
Yeah. you still make big holes in the ground, no?
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, no, I went out and flew my helicopter, my little T-Rex 500, which had a little bit of an issue actually on it. You've had some weird and wonderful, strange issues as well, haven't you?
I have all sorts of weird and strange wonderful issues. YS-20 engines go bleh, eat themselves. A friend of mine's got a very lovely boutique helicopter which thinks it's a ram.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, we'll come to that. But anyway, yeah, you'll love this one. It's quite funny. But yeah, no, I've had all sorts of weird things. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
rather eventful.
I had a servo go dicky on the T-Rex whilst I was flying it, which was a bit scary. Kind of just sort of came in, sort of nose in towards myself, and pushed forward elevator in a bit of negative pitch, and it didn't over rotate, but it flipped a lot quicker than what I was expecting it to flip in. I went, that's a bit strange. So I kind of landed it and decided that something wasn't right, and I'm always really kind of safe on that sort of thing because you can carry on flying it and go, it's fine, and then it ends up throwing itself into the ground. So whenever something doesn't feel right, I always land it. Just spend a minute checking it over to see what's happening. And as I landed it, I spotted the rear servo was moving. The rear servo on the swash plate was moving a bit strangely, just almost like it was lagging a little bit. So checked it and sort of loaded it up with my fingers, and it was a bit down on torque. And then as I was moving the collective up and down, it actually stopped moving altogether. So I moved the collective up, held it still with my finger, so loaded, and then let go of the swash plate, and it stayed there. And then I moved the collective stick up and down a couple of times, and it started moving again. I was like, ooh, okay, I switched that off, take it home, and yeah, so that was one of those the new DS515. So don't quite know what's going on there, but I phoned up Aid at Skyline and said, it's broken. Can I have another one, please? And he went, yes, sure, of course you can. So that's all being replaced under warranty. Just got to send the old one back. So it's cool. Great. So I was back out flying the next day. I was like, yeah, cool, awesome. Thanks, Aid.
Yep. Oh, he's good. He's good as our Aid.
Yeah, he's done us proud, yeah.
Yes. No, he's been helping me out a lot actually as well recently. So cool.
Yeah, no, he's putting actually up at Skyline. They're putting an awful lot of effort into the website, and that sort of, and just sort of getting the stock levels together, and they're sort of transitioning sort of various bits and pieces across to new systems and that sort of thing. So I've been talking to him a fair bit about that sort of things, and it's all very good. And he's pretty active on Google Plus as well. There's lots of offers and all sorts of things being posted on Facebook and Google Plus and on Twitter. So if you follow them anywhere on those three networks, you'll keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, no, there are some good offers coming through actually. He's got some pretty good stuff coming through. There's got some good stuff in the pipeline as well, which we know a little bit about, but we can't tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of but thankfully, I don't know, what was the weather like with you on Sunday?
Glorious.
Was it
cracking
glorious?
Flags. It was cracking flags.
Yeah.
Which changed. Really grim up here.
Yeah, I mean I had a fleece on, I had my sunglasses on, beautiful, gorgeous sunshine, about 5 mile an hour wind, absolutely Spot on perfect. And there was 4 of us flying in our little local spot, just the right number of people to make it fun and interesting. Although I was a bit down on models, I need a fixed wing model. I need a plan.
So mention that again, and I'm going to delete you out with this call. You're not allowed. Yeah. Not allowed.
No, it's purely for
research
training purposes, so that I can remember how to do right hand, because I'm left-handed. I always roll to the left. So if you've probably seen in some of the videos we've been doing.
I knew there was something funny about you.
I'm a lefty.
Oh,
that's why my collective control's so great. You see, that's what it is.
Right. Okay.
Collective management, and that's why I can't do chaos for because it's all right-handed stuff. Yeah, I can't do that. Anyway, so fixed wing is really great for learning sort of things like right-hand rolling circuits and rolling stuff going forwards in general, and learning how to hover. Can't hover.
Okay. Just on a quick one. Craig Oakley. He says the URL seems to put him in the Q&A. URL to join. If you go to our Rotors page now, Craig, I will put the link up now. I shall do it now for you. Sorry, Ed, carry on.
I'll get on that. Yeah. So I need a fixed wing.
Yeah. Okay.
Troutman.
Who is it, Mark?
It's Mark, yes.
The hardcore drinker.
What? I'm not drinking. Just your British are lightweights.
Oh, here we go. It's not made. It's a lightweight. It's Thai. Oh dear. How are you, Mark? Okay?
Yeah, pretty good. We just had a beer or two after the regular show.
Yeah. No, it was good. Yeah, I think we're going to get on to Rotor Live in a minute, and
yes,
it was really good.
Yeah, there's lots of questions I've got to ask about Rotor Live, both helicopter related and non-helicopter related. I've heard some of the stories, but I've also been told that what happens at Rotor Live stays at Rotor Live, so we may not be able to talk about it.
Some of it is not broadcastable.
There's nothing special happen. It's just a regular fun fly.
Yep. No, it was really good. I mean, it's my first time going to an event outside the UK, and no, you know what? I'll be back next year. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's always a really good show. I mean, Rotor Live is I think one of the biggest and best events in Europe.
Yeah. Cool.
So, no.
Yeah. You also used the event as a platform to launch the black belts as well, didn't you? The black belt blades.
We launched them a week before, yeah. But
was it a week before? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the week before we launched it with the video and all that stuff. But it was the first event where actually the whole team were flying them. So yeah, we're pretty happy with it so far. I mean, we had all October, November, December, January, February manufacturing only black belts, and luckily they all sold out.
I know. I missed out.
5 months of production was sold out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
cool. So that's not too bad.
So just for those that haven't met you before, Mark, can you just quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Mark Troutman. I'm the head of Spin Blades, and been in the RC helicopter business for a while. So
if you've got any questions about rotor blades, now's the time to ask them on the Q&A.
Now Mark is the man with the knowledge and the plan, etc., etc.
Trying to. I mean, it's not just me. There's a big team behind it and helping developing, and the blades wouldn't be where they are if we wouldn't have team guys that we have and push always the limit and always are not happy with what we do, and they always say hey, come on, we need to make this better, and I'm always like, come on guys, we've been working on this, we got to launch it now, and they're like, no, we have to do this, change a little bit here and a little bit there. And black belt we were developing for over 1 year, so it's quite a long time.
Cool.
So the black belt ones, are these the new super strong high speed.
Yeah, they
blades.
basically replace all the symmetrical blades that we had so far. We're not making red tips anymore. We're not making matte blades anymore. We just make black belts now. The reason is, yes, there's certain reasons. One is the manufacturing processes. We totally changed manufacturing process. Spin blades has been on the market for 5 years, and this is the first time that we totally changed everything completely. I mean, we did little improvements here and there all the time in the past. We always improved little things, but this is the first time we totally, like, nothing is like the old manufacturing anymore.
So it's completely new, 100% new process, 100% new everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we never worked with vacuum before, for example, and these blades are all vacuum. Yeah, that's all. Like, it's if you mix the resin and you normally, you know, when you you mix it, you mix air into the resin, and when you put it in the mold, you have air there. What we do is when the resin is mixed, we put it in a vacuum pump, and we already vacuum the resin itself, and then we all vacuum the whole system again. So there's you see it if you have a glass of where the epoxy is in there with regular mold manufacturing, like Funky and all these other guys, you will not be able to look through the glass because you always have those little bubbles. It's a regular process of air which is in the epoxy while you mix it with the hardener. And if you vacuum the epoxy first, it's totally clear. So you can't even see that there's something in there. You only feel it when it's hard that you touch it, and you're like, oh, okay, there's something actually in there.
Cool.
So we had a glass of our epoxy at Rotor Live to show the people what's different with the vacuum epoxy than the regular one. So that's one of the.
So I did wonder what that was. I saw it on your stand, and I was like, well, what's that?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's like. Then there's that's one of the things. I mean, we increased a lot. I mean, another thing is we're not destroying the fabric anymore. Like every manufacturer used to drill the bolt hole, same as we did in the past. And you only have limited space on a 14 millimeter or 12 millimeter root, and if that's already filled with carbon, there's not much you can do. You weaken it by drilling it. So our molds are basically made so you don't drill the fabric anymore. It's woven around the bolt holes. So there's we don't destroy the fabric anymore. I don't know how much stronger it is because our machine can only pull to up to 2 tons. And a regular old 700 size blade was able to break with about 1 ton. And with the 2 tons, we were not able to break the black belt. And I'm not going to invest in the machine to see if it breaks after 2 tons.
So how does that translate? How does that translate to RPM? So what's a 2-ton pull? How many RPM would you have to be doing a 2-ton pull?
Depends on we haven't really calculated that far, but 3,000 is not a problem. So we said, okay, 3,000 is fine enough. Duncan is doing 4.5 on overspeeds, and there's no issue with the blades.
Jeez, I knew his overspeeds were high, but I didn't know they were that high.
He's coming up.
Yeah, because when we were walking into the event at Effesheim, we heard a whole overspeed. Like, yeah, that's Duncan.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the reasons. I mean, we had the thing is you have safety restrictions for the blades, and if you obviously you have your team pilots and you want to be there for them, and you want to make sure that everything they do is safe and is good for them. And none of the insurance would pay if something happens when Duncan is doing an overspeed and they say, well, this is way above 3,000. So that's why we had to react and make the blades capital for higher RPM. And so far we're the only manufacturer who has blades in 700 size capital higher than 2,500.
What about the profile and stuff? Are they, because I believe I've got a set of spin blades here to test them to try on my T-Rex. But because they've got a bit of a reputation for being a bit like the LV blades, haven't they? So that you get to sort of a certain point and then they start getting quite draggy on the amount of pitch you're using. Is that sort of is the drag curve changed at all or anything like that?
Yeah. No, the new airfoil is we actually have a patent on that. It's we're changing the airfoil every inch on the blade to have the optimized lift for the speed of air they actually having, because on the inside of the blade it's actually not that fast, and on the tip.
Yeah.
So the airfoil is changing every inch on the blade to be optimized for the airspeed, and also the pressure point is changing as well, because what you did in the past is you put lead in the leading edge of the blade to reduce the forward, so it's more stable in flight. But that lead is like weight outside, which is movement you have to move while it's spinning. So it's kind of like a gyro, because the lead's outside and it's spinning. So you always have to move that and stop it and move it and stop it. And we reduce the lead in the leading edge. We still have lead in there, but the pressure point, what we do is we change that aerodynamic wise. Like the pressure point of the blade on the tip is only like 5 millimeters in front of the leading edge, and on the root it's like 25 millimeters. So that's whole changing, and that makes the blade go very stable on forward flying, but very linear active on cyclic input. And you can see that when you see like Duncan or Dario or Simon and Florian, all those guys, the way they stop and accelerate on TikToks and all those maneuvers, it's very aggressive and it's very effective. Normally a blade would on those hard stop, it would stall when it tries to accelerate again, and you can see it when those guys fly, the helicopter accelerates way better than other.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
I'm sold. I'm getting some.
Yeah. I'll put me down for a second.
Sorry, they sold out.
What sizes are the new ones available in?
They start on 205, which is for the little 250 T-Rex, and 245, which is Gaui X2 or Blade 300, then 320, which is regular 450 size, 350s for like X3s, and the bigger 450 large and Dominator and others. Then they have for 440, which is for like T-Rex 500 and X4, 525, which is for the X5, 605, which is regular 600 size T-Rex and all those, 625, which fits the Goblin 630, 685, regular 90 size, and then 720s, which is also a regular 90 size, and then 785, which is for the 800 size.
So you could have just really narrowed that down very quickly and said all of them.
Kind of. Now we also got tail blades from 95 to 105 and 115. So yeah,
not
basically.
Little ones. Not little ones. I need some little ones.
No. Even like that's what nobody knows. Like even like 320 blades and 350 blades, it's just a marketing tool. I mean, our manufacturing is in Europe, so for us it doesn't really make sense to make blades smaller than 500 millimeter, but we have to, because we need the whole range, because the whole process, if you like calculate the manpower on a set of blades, what do you assume how long would it take if you like calculate all the steps?
It's got to be an hour, isn't it, per blade?
No, more than that. I'd say 4 or 5 hours a blade, 1 hour.
That's too long. Then you couldn't afford the blade. I mean, selling a 350 blade is like 30 euros, 32 euro.
Yeah.
So if that's 5 hours, you would I would not sit here anymore. Or we would have little kids in China working for us, then probably would still be affordable, but that's not our style. No, it's like regular. It's between an hour and a half and 2 hours for a set of blades if you calculate all the steps together.
And of course, that doesn't really change for the size of blade, does it? It's
no, not at all. Yeah, it's the same. Even like we make like 1,600 millimeter for like big UAVs, and those ones it only takes like 2.5 hours to like make them. Obviously all the fabric in there is a little more expensive and all that. But the most part of the blade manufacturing is the labor cost.
It's the same with most stuff these days, isn't it? It's all labor. It's all labor.
Yeah, I mean, we just it's funny, we have this little quad. I don't know if you heard of it, the Dynamics.
Yes, I've seen that one.
We have that one, and And everybody's like, oh, it's so expensive. For that price, I can buy an Invertix, or I can buy a Leap or something. And we're like, yeah, well, it's the same in there, it's the same flight controller in there. So the speed controller is a little bit smaller. The frame is a little bit smaller, but it's 4 motors, 4 speed controllers. There's some multi-V in there. There's so that's like, yeah, that's why it's the price. I mean, it's not really changing when things get smaller.
Indeed. Right, we have somebody who hasn't been with us before, called Craig.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Sorry it took a little bit of time to get to you, but
That's
we had
right.
to talk about those rotor blades because they're awesome. So, Craig, who are you? Where are you now? Where are you from? And what do you? How would we know you?
Okay, I am currently in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. I am from Melbourne, Australia, so just a little bit further away.
Okay.
Where you would know me from is from Helifreak. I am Archmage AU on Helifreak.
Okie doke.
My main claim to fame on Helifreak is that I wrote the From Tail into All 8s in 6 months, which is the premier on Helifreak. I'm also one of the admins on Helifreak as well. So I try and actually keep as much order as I can in the forums that I see.
So you're the one who banned me.
No, it wasn't me. I haven't banned anyone yet.
I'm banned on Helifreaks. Same as Xnova and a couple other brands. We're not allowed to comment there or help our clients there, so we just ignore them.
Unfortunately, Helifreak has some fairly strict rules on the way that manufacturers and suppliers can deal with the Helifreak forums, and they have to be very careful about advertising in there. So
it's not advertising; it's just making comments. We're not even allowed to make a comment.
That's
because we don't advertise.
I'd need to actually check with Will as to what the exact policy on that is.
I registered on Helifreaks after that. We had that issue with the prototype blade that Tyler was flying, and we wanted to comment and tell people about what happened and what's going on. And we registered with the name Spin Blades, and we never got the allowance to post there. And then Duncan did post under his name because he was allowed to post something, and said, well, Spin Blades is not allowed to post here, so I'm going to write their comment. And after that, I've been dropping emails to Helifreaks and never got any reply.
Okay, well, I'll raise it in the admin forum to Will and find out what the full story is behind that, and try and get back to you. You've got my G Plus account, because that'll actually turn up in this forum.
Yeah.
So
you can
keep in contact with that.
They have my email. They have our account. They can contact us if they. Like we never really heard anything back from them, and then at Rotor Live we talked to other people and they said yeah we have the same issues. Seems like just a few brands who actually advertise there are the ones who are willing to be registered and be able to post, which is pretty sad, but I mean if that's a rule, that's a rule.
Well,
but at least communicate so we know.
I know we get Brian out of Blade Helicopters out of Horizon Hobby. They quite regularly post on the forum to actually help out users that are having problems with Blade helis. Now, it's not that Blade actually advertises explicitly through Helifreak. There's just enough users of them on there that it's appropriate that he does actually help out. But he doesn't do any announcements through Helifreak. It's more a case of if you're having a problem with this or that, which is what you're doing with Spin Blades. And so,
It's
from my point of view, I don't see a problem, but I'll...
Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. It's a very tricky subject, and I'm sorry that you've both sort of kind of been put on the spot a little bit here.
Yeah.
This is obviously not a subject for here. Have a chat at some point between yourselves,
please.
And because it is, and the trouble is, it's always been a problem with in both directions, in terms of allowing manufacturers to advertise, help their customers out on the forums, and also from a forum perspective, in terms of controlling the amount of promotion that comes onto the forums, because otherwise it could turn into a spam fest. So the balance has to be struck, and I know that other forums in the past have definitely got that balance incredibly wrong. Mentioning no names, Mr. Runrider. I mean, anybody that's been in the sport for long enough will know just how badly wrong Runrider got it, and yet they're still there. I don't know how they've managed. I don't know how he's still there, but he is still there. And Helifreak was spawned out of that disaster. So I'm hoping that maybe just we can just learn to get along a little bit better and communicate with each other and get this all sorted. So guys, thank you very much for kind of having a little chat there, and hopefully we can get something going in the right direction, because the trouble is at the moment is that more and more people are using social media like Facebook, and Google Plus, yay, and forums, and the forums I frequent, one of which is Helifreak, have been getting noticeably quieter over the last few years, and that is because people are using things like Facebook. So guys, come on, let's talk and get this all sorted and get it nice, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
So, Chris, what else do you what do you fly? What models do you own?
Craig, this for
Sorry,
me?
Craig, sorry.
That's right. Okay, I own back in Australia, I have a T-Rex 700E DFC and a Gowie X5. Both of those are running BD3SXs. I've also got, sitting up behind me is a Blade 450X and also 130X. I dragged those all the way over to the Netherlands with me to go out flying on the weekend with another member over here. And apart from that, some small micros. So it's only a small fleet.
Well, a fleet's a fleet. Doesn't matter. I mean, I've got goblins coming out my ears, but that's beside the point. I've got a problem. It's a registered condition. It's called goblinitis. I've got loads of it.
The problem is, if I had the money and the time, yes, I'd have many more helis.
Well, I haven't got any money. Trust me, I've not got any money.
He did. He did have some money.
Well, I started the All 8 stuff is because I wanted to be able to learn to fly without actually spending, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, actually getting these things in the air and keeping them in the air. Now, maybe that's the wrong way of approaching this hobby, because it is rather an expensive hobby. But I decided I wanted to actually learn to fly and actually keep these things in the air instead of actually putting them in the ground. So consequently, I shared my learnings and my expertise that I had coming from a very high-skill sport background, and applied that to learning how to fly helicopters.
And what was the high-skill sport, if you don't mind me asking?
I was a figure skater, which is unusual for Australia. But,
you don't get an awful lot of ice down there.
No, we don't. No, very, very small amounts of ice in very, very small rinks and dotted very, very sparsely across the landscape. Also, another very expensive sport to actually be part of, because you have to pay for every hour that you want to actually practice.
Yeah.
Consequently, to get to 8 successive national championships in ice skating, you have to learn a little bit on how to train. And how to actually learn very high-skill sports that have quite dire consequences when you mess up. Sounds like Ellie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So how long have you been flying then, Craig? Roughly, do you reckon?
I've only been flying for about 2.5 years now.
All right.
I taught the net how to fly inverted in about, and have kind of stabilised on that. I tend to like to more sports fly than smack 3D down on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, when I was flying the 450 last weekend, It was in a very small park that was surrounded by trees. We're still actually putting it inverted only a couple inches from the deck and then punching out full inverted, and I found that my tail gain was a little bit high, and it started shuddering as it was going up at about 10 metres per second, which makes it interesting to try and get down in a very small area.
Yeah, sure does.
Talking of flying in a very small area, did anybody see the latest Tarek video flying in the woods?
Yes, that man is a legend.
Yes.
Legend in his own background.
That's almost the amount of space I have to fly in back at home if I go for a 5-minute walk up into the woods behind my place. But I wouldn't take my 700E up in there.
Oh no! I mean, the thing with Tarek is it's all spectacular. I mean, some of his safety decisions are questionable, but that's just the culture that he comes from in Saudi. That's just the way it is over there. I mean, we think, ooh, maybe not, maybe that's a bit scary, but you cannot deny that he's probably one of the most spectacular pilots out there, and very skilled as well. Because I think all of them trees.
Well, being 5 to 10 metres from a 700 that's doing rapid ailer on TikTok, it's a pretty scary place to be.
Yeah. It's I'm sure I saw the cameraman flinch a couple of times as well.
I think he does flinch quite a lot, that cameraman. From what I remember, it is one of his mates, but I think he does have him papping his pants every now and again. Because I know I would.
No, he always travels with him. He's used to it.
Yeah. No, I scare myself flying as I fly in I'll tell you, I fly in the clouds. I can't crash up there.
Do you fly? All I've ever seen is you take off and land.
I don't. It's because it's up there. It's not crashing when it's up there, is it? I can't afford to crash.
I'll fly the 130 in a hotel room. That's kind of close quarters.
Yeah, I've flown me in Vertex indoors. That was fun.
I'm still
some a bit to bounce off the walls.
Talking of spending money, I'm still kind of. I'm a while back on my personal account, I put a little post up about choosing between 3 options. The first one was something like an Oxy 3, something that sort of size, possibly an Oxy 3. A FPV quad, because that looked 250 mini quad racing, 250 quad racing looks freaking awesome. It looks loads of fun, and there were some seriously cool setups out there which really shift.
Mm-hmm.
And the third was a 3D plank, because
I've warned you. I'm telling you. Say it again. You're going.
And
don't mention that. You're not allowed to. It's a helicopter show.
I know. It's, as I said earlier. It's all for improving my skills on the helicopter. Because good, well-rounded education is a good thing.
Any excuse.
And I'm still struggling with the decision, ish. Although I am erring towards the plane, I must admit. Because
take the FPV quad. They're fun.
Yeah.
Well, Lee makes them, doesn't he? Lee Trevathan, he makes them, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sever makes them.
Oh yeah, Sever Raiders as well. Yeah.
But you just need a forest to fly them around in, like in between trees and stuff like that to really make it interesting.
Yeah, and you need, I think you need a group of people as well with them as well, so you can start racing each other. And
you
I'm
need a few
kind of
people.
lacking that a little bit around here. And
Then
the 350 quid for the goggles is the biggie. That's the biggest problem.
Or get a Dynamics. Dynamics is fun.
Yeah. There's lots of really good little models out there. There's lots of little good models, but it is the goggles that's the problem. It's 350 quid.
It's cheaper goggles than that. One of my club members, he's just getting into FPV now, and I don't think he's paid that much for goggles. Maybe 150, something like that, for a basic set.
But the basic ones, you like, especially if you wear them a little longer, It's like with everything, you know, you buy cheap, you buy twice.
Yeah.
You might as well just wait or save up enough to actually buy some good goggles, because if you start getting into it and you start liking it, you'll use them a lot. And if you use them a lot, cheap goggles you'll sell them on eBay and buy better ones. So don't waste that money.
Yeah, and the other trouble is that they look, some of the cheap ones look like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just really? No. Just no. So
No.
yeah.
It's like, you know, when I think everybody from us went through that when you started flying helicopters. I mean, when I started flying helicopters, I had like 5 or 6 or 7 different transmitters, because I always thought like, okay, I buy the next model and that one had a transmitter again, and I buy the next one, that one had a transmitter again. Until I finally realized, okay, you got to spend some serious money, and then you start having fun, and you have the right tools, and buy a real transmitter, buy a regular helicopter, and finally get into the air. When you know what you're doing, and when you know how to fly, you can fly all this cheap crap. But when you start and you have all the, like, you don't know how to set it up, you don't know what you're doing, you better spend some proper money, I think.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And that's the, I'm taking that lesson that we all learn in the early days and going, right, now if I'm going to do it, I need to spend the money on the decent kit in the first place. Otherwise, I am just going to end up spending twice. And so, you know, that's where I'm getting this 350 quid from, if for the goggles.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's such a large amount of money for something that if I've done a little bit of FPV. Things like a Zaggy and a more aerial photography based hexacopter. So it was all GPS, you know, stabilized and all this sort of stuff. And the Zaggy was cool as well in its own way. But it's just, if I don't find the right group of people to fly with locally and don't find the right places to fly in locally with, you know, it's just going to be something that's going to be like, it'll be cool for a month or two, and then it'll be like, great.
Yeah. So on the subject of your FPV as well, just a quick one that's come up on the Q&A from Graham Laurie. FPV Scotland have had the first race a couple of weeks ago with FPV 250s in a disused factory. I remember seeing something on Facebook about that. A good friend of ours at the show, Danny Rose, he's involved with it as well. I think he's one of the organisers, and they've set up an FPV racing league in Scotland, and it does seem to be, pardon the pun, taking off quite well up there. So I can't remember what the URL is for the site, but I think if you put FPV Scotland into Google, you'll find them, and have a look, check it out, and those that are interested in it, have a look, join in, sort of thing.
And Graham, do get in touch with us, because if you are willing to come down to our fly-in later on in the year...
later on in the year? In just over a month?
Is it? Oh, crap.
Oh, yes, 9th and 10th of May.
Oh, God.
South Cheshire Heliaddicts.
I'd forgotten it was that close for some reason.
Yes.
I don't quite know how...
It's creeping up.
It is creeping up. Yes, Graham, get in touch, because setting up a race at the in sort of in a side field around trees, slightly longer course would be something that we'd be interested in setting up. So we would value your experience and help in sorting that out, please.
Yes, we have plenty of areas around the field. I mean, I put up a FPV video yesterday on my own account. I will share it on Rotors. You can sort of get the idea, lie of the land, and there's a massive lake that you can fly around, and there's trees and woods and everything you can fly in and through. And but yeah, those that are coming to the fly-in, if that's something that you want to do, we'll sort it out for you. Because we have got a few at the club that want to do it, and get a few of you doing it, and we'll have a laugh.
Definitely.
What's the regulations on FPV in the UK? Because in Australia, if you want to actually try and fly FPV, you need to have a spotter. You can only fly a certain distance away from you. You need to be able to see it line of sight, which kind of takes away the ability to actually wear FPV goggles at all. So
not
the UK rigs.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain on distance, but it is line of sight, and you do have to have a spotter. From what I remember. Obviously, I don't do it, so I'm not 100% up on the rules, but I think it is similar. I think they've all got a similar sort of ruling.
Yeah, I mean, if the thing is that the radio systems, that from what I understand, the downlink, even on the 2.4 gig stuff, is still pretty much line of sight anyway. So if you are flying behind, once you start flying behind a certain amount of wood or a building or anything like that, then you'll lose the video anyway. So you're kind of limited to line of sight in general. And having a spotter isn't. If you're flying with a group of people, then you'll have a spotter anyway. So that's kind of it is generally like that, but it's.
Yeah, we'd have to look and see what the rules are. We're not 100% certain ourselves. So.
Yeah,
it's not quite as restrictive as what you'd think it would be.
Yeah, because we also get quite restrictive on what the power ratings can be for the video output as well. So you've got the 2.4 gigahertz channel. You've also got, I think it's about 5.4, 5.7?
5.8, I think it is.
5.8. 5.8 also has a certain power rating.
Yeah.
Now that power rating for the 5.8 is only good for about 150, 200 meters.
Yeah.
If you go beyond that, then you're into the power rating that requires you to have a ham radio license to be able to operate that sort of wattage on that channel. It starts to drop off really quickly because an inverse square law for the distance that you can transmit.
Yeah, it is a contentious subject. Part of the problem with the regs is that the regs are designed for sort of home gear, i.e. things like your wireless router and stuff like that, which are generally used in much tighter areas. www.fpvscotland.co.uk is the website for the FPV racing in Scotland, if anyone is interested. Thanks, Graham. That's the trouble is the regs for these frequencies are all kind of generated for these home use gear in very close proximity to each other. So if they start transmitting on too much power, then they start swamping your Wi-Fi router would start swamping your neighbour's Wi-Fi router. So there is some clarification needed, not clarification, but just some general common sense required. If you're using a 2.4 gigahertz gear in the middle of a field, a mile from the nearest house, like you should be, because that's you need to be should be a decent reasonable distance away from your other people. You shouldn't be flying over the top of people and that sort of stuff like you see some people flying on YouTube. When you start flying in the middle of the field through woods in a controlled area, then whilst the legal limit is there, people kind of need to understand. The regulatory authorities need to understand that we're using it in different conditions. So, and I think I'm not sure what the limit is. I think I can't remember now, but it is something ridiculously low.
But we've had people in Australia that have had gear confiscated because they've been using stuff that's out of bandwidth or out of the regulation for what the wattage is, and they've been using it outside of a residential type area. So they've been using it out in the middle of nowhere, but they've actually gone. The regulators have come in and actually said, no, the wattage is too high. The gear's illegal and confiscated.
How did they find them? Do you know what the
put it this way: when they do a meet, or when a few of them meet up, might be outside Melbourne, the regulators also can tap in on those public messages.
Of course, yeah.
Spies in the sky, Big Brother, etc., etc.
Yeah, I don't think the English government is actually competent enough for that.
Unfortunately, the efficiencies of Australian regulatory authorities is somewhat better.
I've just had a knock at the front door. I'll be back in a minute.
I think Mark would disagree. Germans are efficient.
I haven't told you the room number I'm in where I'm staying, so they can't come and grab me yet.
Fair do. Right. Rotor Live.
Yes, let's talk about that weekend.
Yes. Now, where to
Do you remember that weekend?
Oh, I remember it. Yeah, I wasn't that drunk, honest. It's Mike Revuke's fault. I'm blaming Mike. But no. Like I say, my first heli event outside the country. I've done all sorts of little things outside the country before. When I raced motorbikes, I raced at Monza and stuff like that. And but it's my first heli event outside the country. And speaking with Ty Page, Angelos from Spartan, and Phil Colby from Heli Shack Forum, we all decided we were all going to go down there and have a bit of a laugh and all this and that. And because it's somewhere I've never been before, I've never been to Germany before, I thought, oh, you know what, I'll drive. So I did.
Did you take the tunnel or the ferry?
I took the ferry. I'm not prepared to pay a week's wages just to go to a tunnel.
And the ferry is okay. I mean, did you go from Dover to Calais?
No, I did Dover to Dunkirk. It was actually cheaper to go to Dunkirk, would you believe?
Oh, okay.
So so drove all the way down. It's like 4.5 hours from here to Dover, then another 7.5 hours from Dunkirk to Baden-Baden.
Oh, okay.
And nice little drive out. And no, fantastic countryside. Loved it. Autobahns. My first experience of the autobahns was, oh my god, I'm going to die.
It's not that spectacular than everybody thinks it is.
Well, it's not. I mean, I'll give it to the Germans on the roads. The lane discipline is fantastic. It's like overtake, back in, and I'm just tooting along in my little Fiesta and thinking, right, I'll see how fast this thing goes. 115, yeah, not too bad. I slow back down to 90 mile an hour, and this Audi thing, I don't know what it was because I couldn't see. I didn't have chance. It was this grey Audi. It went past me that fast. I thought it was going to suck my door mirror off. I'm doing 90, and it was like I was going backwards at 60 miles an hour, and he was probably doing 100 forward and stuff. So, and I was like, oh my god! But no, it's an experience, and to be fair, it wasn't a bad one. It was like, yeah, I quite like this. The roads were a lot better than England. It's just so much better. The people are so friendly over there as well. It's like, I can speak a little bit of German, just enough to get by. But
okay. That's good.
To be fair, I didn't need to, because 90% of the people over there spoke very good English anyway. So, that was it getting there. Go on, sorry.
I had a couple of friends in Munich, living in Munich for a few years, and they were trying to learn German whilst they were there. But as soon as anybody, as you say, 95% of the people, as soon as any of them cottoned onto the fact that you're English, they would just start talking English to you. So they were speaking in a English accent in German, and the person would just reply to them in English all the time.
Yep. No, that is pretty much what it was. I think the only instance where it was 100% German was in a kebab shop. Would you believe? We're in a kebab shop getting a doner kebab, and it's the only place I had to speak German because the other three with me.
They probably speak worse German than you did.
Quite possibly, but no, we got there.
Okay, cool.
We got there, but no, I stayed in a hotel by the airport, which was a bit of a tease really, because where the airport is and where the hotel is, it's about 50 yards away. So I was like,
did you stay in the B&B hotel?
Yeah, same hotel as you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's cheap. It's clean. It's
good, clean, cheap.
Easy.
The guy in the front desk, he's a legend. He's like, he remembers your name and everything. He's like, really good. He's absolutely.
No, he's very cool. He's been hosting us for 6 years now. 6 years we're coming,
cool.
and every time we go there, he's like, "Oh, hello, how you guys doing? Oh, okay, they coming again."
Yeah.
So no, he's a legend. He's very good. Very nice guy.
Really good. So that's where we stayed, right by the airport. It's about, say, a 10-minute drive from the hotel to the race course, because it's a Iffezheim race course, which is for horses. Normally, horsey types and helicopters don't mix, even though the horses don't give a flying shit about the helicopters. They just sit there and watch. People that have got horses have got this thing in their head. Oh, it's a helicopter. It'll scare my horse. No, the horse does not care one jot, so the horse is not bothered. But no, it was like quite different, because if you say look at Aintree and everything on the telly, and you've got the big grandstands of the hospitality suites and that lot, and you've got all the outside viewing area and everything, that's essentially where it was. It's essentially a big trade show in the hospitality suites with some flying going on outside.
It's very cool, because on that time of the year, the weather's normally, it's not very consistent. So there, as a vendor, it's very easy, because you have indoor your booth and everything, and the guys can just go outside for 5 minutes, fly, and come back in. So it's very, very cool. The first Rotor Live, we had snow, and there was no problem.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool.
Yeah, we over here in the UK, we used to have a thing called Sandown at Sandown Racecourse, and it sounds a very similar affair. And they stopped doing it quite a few years ago now, actually. I mean, it was a horrible place to fly, because the wind was always coming over the grandstand. It was always horribly turbulent and all this sort of stuff. But no, it was a really nice trade show, and nothing has replaced it since then over here.
Especially for the UK weather, it'd be cool to have something like that, I think, because all the time when we go to the event in the UK, it's always like the weather's bad, except Zolan, it's always good. But
I thought that was the UK in general, just never had good weather.
That is. We have actually no, that's not true anymore. Thanks to global warming, we have beautiful summers now.
Well, last summer was great, because I was in England last summer. I was doing work for Argos up in Milton Keynes. So I spent almost 4 months in the UK last year. And you had some great weather last year.
It's
a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment about the English weather, but then when you get into winter, it's just horrible. The year before that, I was in Leeds in winter, and it's a case of that's somewhere you don't want to be.
That's not UK weather. That's just Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds. Leeds.
It's just you don't want to be in Leeds. It was 40 degrees back in Melbourne, and I fly into Leeds, and it's -2. What is this? This is not weather. This is just torture.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, though, I think last year we were weathered off maybe one weekend all year, from March all the way through to November, which was really good. Yeah. But anyway, back to Rotor.
We've had a quick question from Graham.
Go on.
What were the underwater Savox servos like?
They were like servos underwater and working. No, I
don't usually fly my helicopters underwater. I try and avoid that.
No. This is the point. We're in England. We need waterproof servos.
You
need everything waterproof. Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. No,
I'm surprised you don't vacuum seal your helis before you fly them. Yeah.
There's an idea. Dip it in plastic dip first.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, no, fair enough.
You got the power to weight ratio on the 700s. It'll survive it. So.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
There's this. I don't know. Have you seen that oil that they have? There's on the commercial, the guy is like actually putting a light bulb underwater and undrilling the light bulb underwater.
It's like a spray. Is that the same one? Is that the same one that they spray on the shirts and stuff, and it's like repels any liquids and stuff?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I think Thunder Tiger sells it, and I don't know, that guy has just put it under the water and undrills the light bulb underwater. And first time I saw that, I was like, what the hell? I'm going to stay next to this guy.
Crazy. Yeah, but anyway, those servos essentially what it was. The Savox have got a range of waterproof servos, and you just set up a little tank with the servos in on like a servo tester, and working backwards and forwards, and they were just quite merrily swimming away, as it were.
Well, that'd actually be good for boats, but I'm not sure it'd be great for helis, except in the UK.
No, I think they use it for the cars usually, for like
cars,
buggies and stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I used to have waterproof servos in my buggies when I was racing 8 scale. So.
And the quite a lot of the tail servos they're not classified as IP68 or anything, but they do have rubber seals on the cases and on the output shaft. Mainly from the old days of having tail servos dangling around on tail booms in the exhaust, because my BLS 251 got well and truly soaked for many years, dripping it was.
Yes, I've had a few of my Raptors that are drowning in oil.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I need to clean the T-Rex off. That's minging.
So whilst we do jest about waterproof, it is actually something that is, if you fly fuel helicopters, it is something definitely worth having. But I think most of them are pretty well waterproof anyway nowadays.
I've managed to avoid flying Nitro, so I've kept out of the oil-based ones.
No, fair news. But yeah, no. Going back to rotors again, we keep getting sidetracked. Probably the best way to describe it. I mean, if you've ever been to the GMX bike show or the NEC bike show or something like that, that's probably one of the good comparisons for it. You've got all your trade stands, you've got some shops selling the wares and stuff, and you've got some demonstrations that are going on outside. That's probably the best analogy for it. I mean, if it was the UK, you'd probably just do it in a day, or for yourself, Craig, if it was in Australia, you'd probably do it a day, because you could do it in a day quite easily. It's not that big. There's always flying and demos and stuff outside, but you could quite easily do it in a day. But because I think we took a weekend to do it, and we were there for both days, and we were all relaxed and having a laugh and everything, it just made it just that little bit more enjoyable, if that makes sense, because you were more relaxed, you could soak up everything, you could wander around and talk to people. You could talk to people like Mark and Duncan, you could talk to Steve from Castle Creations, you could talk to Joachim from Ex Nova and stuff like that. You got the game pilots as well. Like I've already mentioned Duncan, you've got Simon Zunterer, you've got Dario Neunschweidt. I can't pronounce it. Dario
Neunschwander.
That's it.
Neunschwander. There you go.
But you know what I mean. You got these big name pilots, and you go on and have a chat to them and talk about things that you've got problems with. I mean,
and you have the contest. I mean, Saturday's qualifying, and Sunday is like quarterfinals and finals. So.
Yeah. No, I was just coming to that. Well, yeah, they did have a contest there, which was purely fight to music, which. Personally, I much prefer the flying to music than anything. Watching set maneuvers is quite boring. Freestyle, freestyle's alright because they do let it all hang out, so to speak. But flight to music's the one that gets me, because it's sort of like dancing with a helicopter, and it is quite nice. I do quite like that.
The concept is pretty cool. Did you know that they just got the final music on Sunday morning?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
The concept is on Saturday qualifying and first rounds, they bring their own music, and then on Sunday morning they know who's like in the next round, and then they get the new music, and they can prepare a flight to music for that one, and then for the finals they get another new music. So the final flight Duncan was doing to music, he got the music 2 hours before his flight.
Nice.
Yep.
So how many times? Because I remember back in the 3D Master days of set music, you'd have 20 people all doing the same music, and hearing the same song 20 times did get a little bit tedious.
I don't think there was many songs repeated. To be fair, I think they were all fairly different.
If they were doing it on the
they all do the first rounds. It's their own music, so there's no double ups. Maybe sometimes, but they always have like 5 or 6 different songs in one flight to music. So it's only like 20 seconds where probably there's something that you say, okay, I've heard Star Wars before or something like that for like regular the Star Wars music for the auto rotation or something like that. That's like seen before, but normally it's pretty. And then just the finals, where like quarterfinals and finals, where you like actually hear like quarterfinals, you have 4 different flights to the same music, and then finals you have 2 flights to the same music. So, and it's pretty cool to see those guys when like Duncan, for example, he got the music, and Maxime, and I think who else was in. Some of our guys were in there. I think Dario was probably still in there when they like choose the different music. And so what they did is they came to our booth and they blocked our DVD player where we usually show videos of flying and put the music in there and recorded on their phone, took their headset and walked up to the flight simulator and start practicing their flight.
Yep.
And an hour later they...
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then an hour later you just see them fly, and it just works so perfect. I mean, if you saw Duncan's final flight in the finals with the music, it was amazing. I mean, if he never flew to that music in life before. He just used it on the simulator, and it was pretty cool. He had like an hour and a half to get his music dialed in. So.
Yeah, I like that method. Yeah, so not too many people playing the song over and over again. So was it 4 or 2 or 4? Because it was semis and finals.
Yeah, you got semis and finals. You had one for 4 times, and there's another one.
That's
twice.
That's okay. So I can deal with that. It was the 20 times. Yeah, at 3D Masters. But all 20 pilots doing the same music. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna say one bad thing was if you wanted to go on Avatar and some of the simulators in the show when they were practicing for that, you couldn't get near it. Yeah, they got a couple of simulators set up for people to have a go at and all around the place. You just couldn't get near it. The accuracy simulator, I think the queue was about 10 deep at one point. You just could not get near it. So I mean, Roger was over there from Climb Out. I couldn't even get near him to say hello. So it was just crazy. But no, it was really, really good. I mean, I'm waxing lyrical about it and gushing with it, and I want to go back tomorrow. But no, it was just one of these things that I think people need to do. I mean, I know my club mates were all going to have a road trip or something next year. We're all going to take a big gang of us down there, so there'll be a big British contingent next year probably. But yeah, no, Graham's been back on again. He's been very active tonight. Apart from the beer, what was the best thing in the show? For me, it was actually getting up close and personal with the new Henselite High. The TDS or whatever they're calling it, I can't remember what they're calling it. But that is one seriously sexy machine. I can't afford one. I probably can't afford the rotor head off one, but it's very, very nice.
I saw the other one from PSG, the Zenit, or what is it called? Cent or Sense?
Zenith.
Yeah. That one's pretty cool too.
That one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There was quite a few good kill ones that I'd not seen. I think some of them are European market only, and they don't come over here. The RJX Vector is another one that stuck out. I've had RJXs in the past, and they did have a bit of reputation for being a little bit pants, a little bit. Aluminium's not that good, but they did actually fly really nice. And this RJX Vector just looks awesome in the sky, and when you look at it, it's a really well-engineered bit of kit, actually. I do quite like it, to the point of I could probably see myself having one by the end of the year.
So I want to talk a little bit about the Hindsight, because obviously this is something we talked about. I remember was it the first show we talked about this? The first show, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
first show we ever did.
Yeah, because that was about the same time as this. So, and then that was just after Rotor live again last year. So.
Yeah. So I remember drooling over the full body, high tail, with it basically looked like an F3F glider with a rotor head and a tail rotor. Have they kind of? Is that still? The pictures I saw were more of a conventional pod and boom kind of affair.
There's two versions. There's a trainer version and then there's the speed version. So.
Yeah, I think they have ditched the high tail though, haven't they?
No, they still have that on the speed
still
version.
Got that, I think.
Yeah.
All right. I'm saying because Ollie Jetland, he was doing some demos, but I didn't actually see which one he was doing the demo with. I did try to video it, but it was too bloody quick. But the one that he had on the display stand was the one with like a 3-point landing gear, a bit like the Veloz with the two skids in the front and the tail, and that was really nice, really well put together. But to be fair, I think everything Jan Hensleit has made has been really top. So
I have an old TDR and I still love it. It's a really cool machine.
Yep.
I flew a 3D MP and a 3D NT many years ago. I mean the MP was one of the very early 600 size electrics, and it was just beautiful thing to fly. So smooth.
He's all the stuff he does is very nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think what else stuck out. I went all the way to Germany and bumped into some lads from Barnsley. Fast lads. Oh, that was it. Some of the scale stuff. I mean, I'm not particularly into scale helis, but no. Even you, Adrian, even you would probably have a raging stonk on for some of these scale machines. Oh my God, there was a I think it was a quarter scale llama there. A 5-year-old could have got in it and flew it. It was massive. I think I sort of got it out of the gentleman because his English was very poor, but I think it was all scratch built. He built it all himself. What a piece of kit! Seriously, the grips on the head were probably like that. All machined out of billet aluminium, and the rotor head was all machined out of one piece. Oh, amazing workmanship on that. It was just beautiful. I mean, even the flex joints in his tail drive shaft, like the real thing, where they've got the aluminium and they slice it and stuff, so it will flex, but it's still a solid aluminium piece. It even done that. It was just amazing. I think I did put a picture up of that, but I can't remember.
I don't remember taking a picture of that.
I'm sure I took one, so it must be on one of my cameras somewhere. I'll dig it out. But yeah, no, they've got some big turbine helis going on. I believe there's a Russian, like a business heli. It's a coaxial one. It looks a bit like a Treble 2, but crossed with a Twister Medivac sort of thing. Did you remember them? Yeah, but no, it's like a Bell Treble 2 sort of thing with coaxial blades on it, turbine. Oh my God, it was just yeah, yourself. The machine was crazy.
Yeah. A Bell 222 crossed with a Twister Medivac.
Oh yeah, he's right. That's what he was.
Was it a full collective pitch coaxial heli or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's coaxial with collective pitch and everything. And the machine on that was amazing. They got like you can buy the gearbox sets for it with your turbine in. It's probably only sort of 12, 18-inch square cubed sort of thing, and you've got your shaft comes out for the main shaft. And it's got a turbine built into it, all your avionics are built into this little thing, and you put it in some of these big scale ships, the bloody thing's lost. It's like a little dot in a corner sort of thing. Just put it up out of the way. And Oh, just the machining on them and the attention to detail was just out of this world. I mean, I'm not one for scale ships. I mean, if I flew one, I'd probably fall asleep flying it. But no, you've got to hand it to them. It's a bit like Harley Davidsons and all these choppers and stuff. You see them on the American chopper, and yes, as a work of art and a piece of machinery that someone's handcrafted, yes, fantastic. But a own one, what the hell? You know, you couldn't ride it. You know, but
it's fun to fly though. I mean, I have a big scale, and you saw it at our booth, the big EC 130 that we had.
Yes,
and it's super fun to fly. I mean, sometimes even like Kasha last year, Duncan was flying it, and he didn't. He was cruising around with it, and he just always like, I want to fly it again. I want to fly it again. It's super fun to fly.
Yeah, I'll have to have a go one. I mean, there was a lot of scale demos going on as well outside. There was a lot of scale demos. I think there's probably more scale demos than 3D demos, to be fair. Some of them, the flying was a bit suspect, to be fair. You watch them fly around and thinking, that's a bit ropey, and that's not a very clean turn and stuff. But most of the flying, to be fair, was a really good high standard. And they did show the models off really well. It was just a couple of them you thought maybe a bit better pilot could have shown that heli off a little bit better. Not that I'm any good like I'm shit, but you know, I'm rubbish. Say again.
The other thing you have to remember is that
Nick.
is that those flying in those situations is incredibly nerve-wracking. I've done it. Yeah, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and it's pretty scary. The first time you do it.
There was a really good high standard.
Nick, have you got some headphones, please?
A couple of them you thought maybe. I have to mute you, Nick, because it's feeding back.
Can you get some headphones, please, Nick?
Yeah. Right. Anyway, what was the thing? Yeah. One of the.
I was just about to say, flying scale would be like flying a glider or a sailplane. You know, because you go there, put it up, relax, and let it fly around for about 10 minutes before actually bringing it back in.
You've not seen me fly a glider, then.
I said 10 minutes, not 10 seconds before you auger it in, but that's a different story.
No, fair. Yeah, one of the weirdest things actually from Rotor Live was the multi-rotor demos.
Really?
Yes. Quad rotors and octocopters and stuff doing flight demos.
Were they racing ones?
Yeah.
Or were they,
nope.
No.
Nope. It was like your Phantom type devices doing flips and rolls and stuff, and flying around, and yeah, not entirely sure what to make from it, if I'm honest. But obviously they're there to display a product, and it can fly, it can do this. Yeah, I appreciate that, but I was like a little bit baffled. I was sat next to Angelos from Spartan, and we were like, "What's this all about?" You know.
I think one was their Graupner demo, because they have this new flybalist system, which is supposed to work on multi-rotors as well. So they demoed that.
Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah, it's just it was just like I was just a bit surprised by it, and I didn't really know what to make of it. But yeah, no, it's there. They're there to show off a product, because essentially that's what it is. It's like a trade show. We're showing off what our product does and this, that, and the other. Because there was a lot of manufacturers there. You got your Graupner, you got your Henselites, you got your X-Novas. There was battery companies there. They're all there to display their products, and this is our product. This is what it does, and that's what they were there to do. It's just I was a little bit back by it. I was like, oh wait, that's a bit different. But no, a really good event, and I'll be honest, I'll recommend it to anyone. If you want to do something that's different and start the season, get the season going, quite seriously, go Rotor Life. It doesn't cost that much. I mean, you could probably do it for £300-400 quid for the weekend. That includes all your beer, travelling.
Do you hear that, Nick?
So it's not too bad.
Did you hear that? Rotor Life is the event to go to.
I know, I tried.
Yeah, no, we saw your post trying to get your passport down from Birmingham.
It was a mission. Sorry, I haven't got any headphones, guys, so I'm just literally jumped on this call. I'm actually sat in my hotel room at the moment down in Uxbridge in London, and I'm sat here doing my paperwork. And I thought, you know what? I thought I'd come and check out, say hello to you boys. Haven't spoken to you for a while. How's everybody?
We're good, mate. We're good, and you?
Very, very good. Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Now, yeah, Rotor Live was. I've been trying to get to Rotor Live for the last few years, and I will definitely do it. Definitely do it next year.
Wait a minute. Say that again. I got to record this. Say again.
It's recorded forever on the Hangout.
Okay,
so,
here we go.
Anytime you
Okay,
want.
Nick Johnson will come to Rotor Live and demo and actually moderate the Spin Blades demos.
Yeah.
I will officially do it next year.
Nick will fly in your demos as well, Mark.
Oh shit! Do we have that many blades?
That's a good point.
I'll be inverted. I've got loads of them blades.
Yeah.
We got plenty of blades. No worries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There goes the entire year of profits for Mark.
Now he's loaded anyway.
Really? I missed that one.
Well, not with Duncan as your team pilot.
Duncan's been really good. I mean, he hasn't crashed for a long time. Only thing at Rotor Live with one flight, he killed 2 sets of blades.
Oh well, he's got so good. I mean, you know, he's all last season. I didn't see him crash once.
No, to be fair, he was not. He was hardly using any blades. But at Rotor Live, he was making fun around Dario's heli, and Dario was already landed, and then Duncan was touching with his blades the blade of Dario's heli. So 2 sets of blades with 1 flight.
I saw that. He was doing like pyro flips over the stationary helicopters, wasn't he?
Yeah. No. And Dario came up and he's like, "Hey, I think we should kick Duncan out of the team. He just wrecked my blades."
I thought I saw that flight. They posted a YouTube of it and pushed it through HeliFreak. So I think I saw that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the guys.
It was quite cool, actually.
Who would park a 700 near where Duncan's flying now, really?
They do that all the time.
What stupid idiot would do that?
Crazy people.
Oh yeah, no, you never, when you're doing a dual flight, you never ever land first. Ever. It's the rule of you fly the pack out until you
you
but can't fly anymore.
Dario spins 2,900 head speed, so it takes like 1 minute and 50 seconds.
I'd cry.
But then he autos from about 5 kilometres up.
Oh, fair dues.
Dario's a good pilot.
Yep. Like I say, they were all very good at Rotor Live. It's really, really good.
What were the attendees there, Kev? Was there a lot of people there?
There was on the Saturday, yeah. Saturday was absolutely rammed. You're trying to get around the hall to see stuff, and it was absolutely rammed. Sunday, because what Angelos was telling me last year, Saturday was busy, but Sunday was really busy. So we were expecting Sunday to be even more rammed than Saturday was, but Sunday was actually quite laid back, and there wasn't as many people there, so it was a bit more chilled out actually, which was quite good because most of us had hangovers.
Well, in terms of in the morning.
Say again.
You were one of the people who went out until 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no, I was a good boy. I went to bed at 3. I was a good boy.
Who stayed up till 7 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know who that was, Mark, at all, honest.
How many autographs did you sign, Kev?
Say again.
How many autographs did you sign?
I didn't sign a single one, mate.
How many tits did you sign?
Hey, behave.
Hey, come on.
I'm not famous in Germany. No one knows me. I was incognito. It was good. It's very good.
It's funny. Every Rotor Live, there's a British gang down though. 2013, Stephen Simmons was like totally dead on Sunday. 2014, Stu Smith totally dead the next day. 2015.
Type age. Dead.
Type totally dead. I don't know what's up with you British guys.
Yeah.
No, we can't hold our drink. It's a known fact.
Well, bear in mind the English people you're referring to are below the age of 23, so that's probably a good clue.
Oh no, Ty's probably older than you, Nick.
Well, no, sorry, I meant to say a mental age of less than 20.
I agree with that.
Oh, steady.
Wow.
We just had a beer after dinner and went to sleep. That's it.
Yeah. That's the official story, and that's what we're sticking to.
Yeah, because without toy helicopters, you know the saying, I mean, growing old's inevitable, growing up's optional. That's what I say.
Yep. Correct. Absolutely correct. That was another thing as well. The local bar stroke restaurant thing. I need to mention this because I've never been to anything quite like it in my life. Just down the road from the hotel, they've got a bar called the Mosquito Bar. It's a bit of a funny name, but it'll all come clear in a minute. They've got like an open air lake, which is like a bathing lake. You know, like over here we'd have an open air swimming pool, stuff like that. But this is like an open air bathing lake, a bit like they have in America and stuff like that. And there's this bar which is absolutely right on the side of this lake and overlooking everything. It's called the Mosquito Bar. What a fantastic little picturesque place to be, and the food was amazing as well. The food was amazing, and obviously once all the heli guys got in there on the Friday and Saturday night and the atmosphere got going, it was absolute right laugh. So if you're going, you need to be going the Mosquito Bar on the Saturday night for the good laugh.
Usually in the past they always had night flying there as well on Saturday night.
At the Mosquito Bar?
Yeah, they didn't do it this year, but last year and the years before we always did night flying there.
Oh, right. Well, maybe we can organise something for next year. I'll bring a night flyer down. Sacrificial night flying.
I think it's probably because of the whole Rotor Day and all that. They probably just forgot about the night flying at Mosquito.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, we'll have to organise something for next year then. Cool.
There is a possibility that I shall be going next year.
I'm dragging you. I'm dragging you. Our mini buzz on tours coming via Pill to drag you.
Tell you what, if you get the Goblin 380 review out by Rotor Live next year, I'll come.
Yeah, I need to do that. I've done it once and it was rubbish, so I've deleted it and doing it again. But yeah, Goblin 380, awesome bit of kit. Buy one.
I noticed you've got the. I've noticed you got the skid upgrade on it.
I certainly have. Yes. Don't know if you can see that properly. Look, proper skids instead of those horrible fishy things.
Yeah.
Them horrible fish legs. They just because to be fair, that was one of my biggest cracks with it. On the ground, it was about as stable as a drunken tramp. You know, it just wanted to fall over all the while, which wasn't very good. But the skids, it's a lot much better on the ground now. You can land with. You don't really need to care about landing anyway. You can land it on the ground, it won't fall over.
But even you can land it without.
Even I can land it without tipping it up, which I
did. Could Nick land it without crashing it?
No,
maybe not.
No? Okay.
I can invert it, land it.
Yeah.
That's not landing. That's arriving. That's a difference.
Arriving with style. Oh, and another thing that I bought, which we'll be getting some videos. We'll get the Helistig to do that. I won't be doing a review on it because it's something I bought myself. You know, I can't be bothered to do a review on it. 3-bladed head and 3-bladed tail for the Goblin. The old trial blade, as Kyle Stacey calls them. So I was having a good chat with Kyle at Rotor Live. What a nice guy. Really, really, really nice guy.
Who's this?
Kyle Stacey.
Oh, Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, you might have heard of him. He's a little known fella from America.
One of my heli sons.
Yes. But no, he sort of convinced me to go 3-bladed on the 700, so I parted with nearly £400 and loads of shiny bits came from my helicopter. So, yes.
And I'm looking forward to playing with it, I must say.
Well, I'm just waiting for Skyline now to send me the ESC and a couple of other bits, and it will be flying by weekend.
Awesome. I want to play with that.
That's
That's
going
going
to ask how it flies, but
Say again. Say again, Craig.
no, I was going to ask how it flies, but yeah, next weekend. Tell us.
Not yet. Yeah. I'm just looking at it now and perving over it because it does the machining on the head. It's just really, really nice. I mean, the standard Goblin heads look nice. This is on a different planet. You know, it's really, really well thought out and machined. Very nice. One other little thing that I've been doing, you might have seen it on the Google Plus page, on the Facebook and everything, testing out a new fuel, VP Powermaster. Nick, you might have heard of VP from your trips to Urcha and Orlando and everything. VP Powermaster fuel. Have you encountered it over there?
Sorry, what was that?
VP Powermaster fuel. Have you encountered it at any of the heli events over there?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, a little bit of history on them. VP are massive in the motorsports industry in America, and I mean massive. They're probably the biggest supplier of fuel to NHRA drag racing, short course truck racing, motorbike racing, stuff like that. They're probably the biggest supplier of fuel in the States for motorsport. They also do RC fuel, like helicopters, cars, boats, stuff like that. Not really done much in the UK. It's been around for a couple of years because I know people that race 8-scale rallycross and they use it and they're sponsored by it and everything. So made a few inquiries to get hold of some of the heli fuels. Thought, oh, I'll try it. You know, its price is very similar to OptiPower and everything else. I thought I'll try it. So got a bit of a deal. I won't kid anyone. I got a bit of a deal to get a box quite cheap. And yeah, so far so good. It does fly really nice. I mean, I'm not sure how you can quantify how a fuel flies or anything like that, but it does seem to run. Your engine seems to run nice and cool. You're getting good mileage out of a tank. I'm probably getting another minute or so out of the tank, sort of thing. And it does run quite fairly clean on the machine. It is smoky. It's probably as smoky as Magnum, if you remember Magnum fuel back in the day. So it is quite smoky, but no, it just seemed to be doing what it says on the tin.
The test is after a box of fuel is to open the head up and just see what it's like inside.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Once I've gone through this box, which is a box is 6 gallons. It's not like your normal boxes. You get your 4. This is 6 because it's in a metal tin, so they can get more in the same size box. So once I've gone through the box, I'm going to open the engine up and have an inspect inside because I know it was fairly clean before because I've been using.
What fuel is it?
VP Powermaster.
Ah, okay. JC's flying for it.
Say again.
JC, one of our team,
JC's
team
ankle,
guys.
Yeah,
he's flying that stuff. And Duncan was using it in the States before he was on OptiFuel when he was flying for booster fuel because it's blue, and he couldn't get booster fuel. Is a small brand out of France from Cyril, one of our friends, and so Duncan was flying his fuel. And the first time when we went to Vegas, he tried to show some blue fuel, and he couldn't have any. And then we found out the V-Power is blue, so he said, "Okay, we'll use that one." And it looked like booster fuel.
that booster fuel was 33.5%. It was like, it was booster fuel. It was brilliant.
It was really, really cool.
Cool.
Isn't VP Powermaster? Hasn't Alan Zarbo been flying that for about a millennia?
Yes,
yeah,
Alan's been flying it since he pretty much started flying, doing the helicopter fuel.
Since he was in diapers.
Yeah, and he still does fly VP now. So.
Yeah, in the US they're really, really big. I mean, they sponsor all the motocross events and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, what's his name? He's a very, very nice guy. The guy who runs the company.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I did have it written down, but that's it. Tommy
something.
Yeah,
he's a very cool guy. He's a very, very nice guy. He invited us to a motocross race when we were in Vegas, Duncan and me, and then it was really cool. It was a cool night.
Yep. No, but yeah, the fuel, it seems to be ticking all the boxes, working well. So once I've gone through this box, which probably only be a couple of weeks because I've been doing a gallon a day so far.
Work busy then? Work busy?
Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of flying. I mean, when I was off last week after Rotor Live to recover, which I quite needed, so it was like, I get up 10 o'clock, what could I do? I'll go flying. Next day, get up, what could I do? I'll go flying. So I've been burning nitro and wearing down batteries like there's been no tomorrow. But to be fair, I think it'll be good to have some variety of fuel in the UK, because at the minute your choices are OptiPower, and if you're really lucky and you can really find it, OptiPower, because there's no cool power anymore. There's
nothing wrong with it. OptiFuel is working really, really good.
Exactly. I mean, I have got nothing against OptiFuel. No, it's not a disclaimer, Nick. I was using OptiPower before. I mean, OptiPower, it's a good fuel. I know Andy fairly well, and he's a really good guy, you know. And to be fair, it's not OptiPower's fault that there's only OptiPower really available in the UK. It's not a bad fuel. It's a good fuel. It does what it says on the tin, and it is what it is. It's a fuel for your helicopter. It's really good.
But competition is good.
Yeah, competition would be nice. There's no cool power because the importer is not bringing it over. There's no Rapicon because the importer can't get hold of it. There's no Magnum because the importer won't bring it over. There's no Wildcat because the importer won't bring it over. Model Technics, you might as well not bother because it's shite. Sorry, did I just say that out loud? Yeah, but Model Technics is rubbish.
No, it is. It is absolute rubbish. It always has been absolute rubbish.
It will gum your engine up and gum your carburetor up in no time. And to be fair, there is another fuel in the UK, but it's so expensive it's not even funny. Byron's Rotor Rage. Another one that's massive in America. And it comes over here with a really good distributor, actually, Central Models Limited, CML. It's just too expensive. I think.
And how does VP come over? Who's doing VP?
VP is actually done by a small company at the minute, Adrenaline Models in Burton-on-Trent. It's only a small company. I think he's a one-man band, and he's tried to get it going, but he hasn't really pushed it, if that makes any sense. So it would be good that if one of the importers like Chris at Fast Lad or Trevor at Midland or Roger down at Climeout took VP on and got it a bit of a presence or something, but again, it depends if it's any good. You know, I've only put 2 gallons through so far, so...
Climeout is doing Rapicon, aren't they? I thought they do Rapicon.
They do Rapicon, but they haven't got any at the moment, and they're struggling to get hold of it. So, I mean, Rapicon is another really good fuel, but again, it's like hen's teeth. So, unfortunately, if you want to fly a Nitro regularly in the UK, the only real choice is either buy a shed load of fuel when it comes in and have a massive unexploded bomb in your shed, or fly up to fuel.
Yeah. I'd love to know what the figures are in terms of how much fuel is sold these days compared to 10 years ago or 8 years ago.
But it's nowhere near what it was.
Yeah, I can count the number of people that I know that fly Nitro on one hand.
I can count. Yeah, and me.
Yeah.
It's clear that's the case because obviously nobody's importing the stuff. You know what I mean? That's why.
Yeah.
Been a bit of a renaissance on Nitro recently, but I don't think it's anywhere near enough to kind of warrant the capex to get it shipped in any sort of large quantity, is it?
It's a big hassle. I mean, we tried to get OptiFuel in for the German market and for Austria, and it's just like the restrictions they do in Germany is just like you don't even want to know. I mean, for 1 year we're trying to actually get all the restrictions to actually do it legally. And I mean, we're too big to just do it out of the garage. I mean, once we start doing it, people will know it. So we have to have everything right. and for over a year we can't. So far, we're not there that we can do it.
No.
I mean, even with the exchange rate as it is at the moment, British pound's doing really well. Even that's not that's making not a dent in it, because it's all especially with this 30% stuff going on. The license you got to have with it now. Nobody wants to fly 20% or 15% anymore. It's got to be at least 30, hasn't it? And you got to have a bloody license for it now.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, to be fair to Andy Optifuel, he has brought out a 25% fuel to combat that, which, from what people have been saying, is every bit as good as a 30, but people want the 30. So, I mean, I'm all right with my YS engines, because that only takes 50 to 20% fuel. It doesn't like 30% fuel, but I know the OS that likes the 30%. Your 50 size engines, they like 30%, and it's just a pain in the backside to get it.
And also, just from a club level as well, it's not just a complication for the importers getting it in the first place, with all the restrictions on shipping and carrying stuff and storing the stuff. It's also just in terms of flying sites. I mean, the number of flying sites now that you can fly a Nitro model at has dropped dramatically. And the sites that you can fly Nitro at are few and far between, and a lot of them are certainly around here. The ones that you can fly a Nitro helicopter at, the site is so tucked away. It's well away from. It takes a long drive, and the site's not ideal. It's in a bit of a valley. There's trees behind you. Sort of, you're in the shade all the time. So in the winter, it's freezing cold. And it's it's just easier just to grab an electric helicopter and go down. There's hundreds of places to fly an electric helicopter, but only a few that you can actually fly a Nitro at. So it's much, it's pretty difficult on all ends.
Nitro is so much cooler, though.
It is. I mean, to be fair, I mean, as much as I love my goblins, I mean, Nick and Ed will tell you I'm a goblin addict. If you cut me in half, it'll say goblin down the middle. But I'm having so much fun at the minute flying this T-Rex 700 Nitro. It's old, it's rattly, it makes all sorts of funny noises, it flies like a pile of shit. I just love it. It's just so much fun because it's got smoke coming out and it makes a funny noise.
It's the smoke that I miss. I definitely miss that. I fly a friend's Shreemok occasionally when I can summon up the courage to fly something that expensive that isn't mine. And I do get carried away with it as well. I enjoy it because it's that smoke. It is the smoke.
It's boys, engines, and smoke, isn't it? There's something kind of almost
primeval.
Primeval. Yeah, I'll go with primeval over erotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the little NX4. It's so much fun. It's like. It's a little 500 size helicopter with a Nitro motor, and it's just like, it's perfect. It's like, it's so much fun.
That NX4 is actually having a bit of, I like to say renaissance, a bit of a boom in the UK at the minute. I think everyone I know is buying an NX4 in the UK. There's loads of them. It's just popping up. Oh, I bought an NX4. Oh, I bought an NX4. Oh,
and the next thing they buy is an NX7.
Hey, that gold one on your stand, was that Duncan's personal one?
Yeah, he got that one for winning the. Yeah, he got that one for winning the world champion title.
Yep.
So Dowie made that.
John got one as well then.
Say again?
How come John got one as well then?
No, Duncan got 2 and spare parts, and the second one got away because John said, "This is mine."
They had that one.
So
on
Duncan had.
didn't they?
Yeah, Duncan had.
Oh no. No, sorry. Oh no, they had a gold. Sorry, they had a gold one, a goblin at the Goblin Day. They had a pure gold one, and I think that's where perhaps they got the idea from, wasn't it?
No, they had like the gold one. Duncan got the gold one while we were in Orlando. Howard gave it to him in Orlando.
All right.
So that was like they had the little X3 gold version a long time ago. Last year at Rotor Live, we had it there and we introduced it to public. And then Duncan said, "Oh, that's really, really cool." And then after he won Heli Master, Annie said she wanted to do something special for Duncan. So she said, okay, we'll do an NX7 in gold because Duncan likes to fly the Nitro so much. And then obviously they know Duncan, so they said one's not enough, so we'll make two and make a few spare parts. And so that's why he got like two kits and a few spare parts. And he came back home after Orlando Fun Fly, and his brother just took one away. So and then he only had one left. So I said that's my demo model. So now his brother has one, and I have a demo model. Duncan has a spare parts.
Bless it.
But no,
Right, guys.
it's a very nice one.
Right, guys, time's getting on. I've got an early start in the morning. I'm pretty sure Kev does too. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much to everybody for watching and for supplying questions and things to talk about. And we'll see you next month.
And hopefully I'll have done that 380 review by then.
Yes, you will have done that 380 review. I shall get the whip out if you haven't.
Oh,
I know,
promises.
I'm not going to promise that. Cool. Right, guys. Thank you very much.
See you then.
And you.
And you.
See you later. Cheers.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.